right, so it is a long holiday weekend, and I have some very exciting news to announce. My How to Make Millions DVD, which all goes to charity, and it actually turned out to be 35 hours long, as opposed to my original plan of making it 10 hours and 20 and then 24 hours. I'm like, screw it. I just need to teach everything I have learned over 15 years in one DVD. So it's 35 hours, but as of February 16th, 2015, we are at $303,000 all to charity. Thanks to you guys. I hope you're using this long holiday weekend to study it, to put a dent in it. I'm so grateful to so many of you who have reached out and said how much you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Summarizing everything you learn and everything that you learn as a teacher, because it's not just what I've learned as a trader. I've learned what works best for students now that I have several millionaire students, some of whom who don't want me to share their earnings publicly, but thankfully some of them who do. Um, I've learned a lot, and this is all a journey. No one has ever really been this transparent with trading. I know I trade sketchy little penny stocks, and I have a weird ass strategy, but it's made me millions, and now it's made several students millions, and it's made dozens of students six figures a year. So I'm just grateful, and I'm excited to really spend this $300,000 on some really good causes. Already have donated to Make a Wish and the Boys and Girls Club, but we've got a lot more money now, and I really look forward to helping those who are less fortunate. I think that it's very important. I think it's a shame that more traders, you see them making 10, 20, 50, $100,000 in a day, and they don't give any of it back. I started my own scholarship at Tulane University back when I was actually in school, and I got a taste of giving back, and we've rewarded several students over the years, just trying to help them understand that you can get motivated by these little awards, and some cash can help you get closer to your goals. I know that we live in this world where everybody wants, oh, this is free, this is free. Well, you don't get that much good quality stuff for free, okay? If there's free, there's usually some kind of hitch, and you don't want that. So I'm very proud of my educational business. I'm proud of so many students who have really transformed their lives through their education, and I really can't encourage you enough to study, 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 and use these educational guides to really transform your life. A lot of people are like, oh, Tim, you only sell this stuff to make money. Well, I made this DVD. It took, nearly half a year from planning to filming and finishing, and I'm not making a dime, and that's fine. I just want to give education. I do have a for-profit business of teaching, obviously, but I love this nonprofit side, and I look to grow it. So if any of you really profitable veteran traders out there want to start giving back, whether it's money or your time and wisdom, I think more people should be able to do that. If someone who's made millions for years is like, okay, Tim, you're right, I want to start teaching and helping others make this kind of life, talk to me. I would love it. Sadly, I find that most veteran traders are the weirdest, most selfish people in the world. And I don't get along with them, as you might be able to see. I'm weird too, but I don't think I'm that selfish. Anyways, in this DVD, I specifically, really focus on the fact that you should bank when there's kind of extreme plays, supernovas, as I've called them in previous DVDs. And they don't come around every single day. But they do come around every few weeks and every few months in penny stocks, and they're always going to come around for various reasons. And the question is, are you prepared to take advantage of it? So today I want to go over the latest supernova, which is GENE. I am short a very small amount, 2,000 shares at roughly 8.05. It closed at 8.15. And judging by how it's trading in Australia, I might get a little squeezed. It might go to the 9s, maybe even the 10s or 11s. I might cut losses quickly. I might add to my position. I don't know. We're going to see. But taking away from what I'm actually going to do, and those of you who are subscribers, you'll see all my alerts and commentary tomorrow when the market opens on Tuesday. because of the long holiday weekend. But you have to kind of take a step back and look at it, why does this happen? This stock was trading in the ones. This is a 120-day chart. You can see it's doing nothing, nothing, nothing. What did they freaking, cure cancer? No. They hyped themselves up and they caught a lot of shorts who were shorting this in the threes and fours saying, oh, it's going to go back to the twos and the ones, and they squeeze them. And that creates a supernova. And this opens the door to great opportunity. We know that this is going to crash. I don't know exactly what the top is. I don't know exactly what day this week or maybe even next week, but we know that this is going to crash. And the cool thing is, some traders have adapted to go long. Awesome call, Nate, to go long in the fours, and I think he sold in the sixes or the sevens. If you can adapt and say, okay, this company is a pile of junk, but there's a short squeeze, there's a big firm behind this called Ironside, and Ironside has pumped up similar supernovas, or they've been involved with it. I don't know how it works on the back end. You can ask Ironside if you want. But here's ADXS. This went from 3 all the way to 13. Now it's back down to 7. So you usually get these huge run-ups. This was a nice quadruple and then a 50% drop. This pattern actually followed exactly my 7-step penny stocking framework pump and dump pattern, where you have the big run-up. This is a 1, 2, 3, and then the 4 is the crash, and then the 5 is actually a dip buying opportunity, and then the 6 you short into the bounce for another gain. And I gotta call out Mark Crook especially. He has been one of my trading challenge students for years. He's approaching $400,000 in profits. He just nailed it, and I think he made close to $25,000 shorting this into this drop and into this bounce. So this is one supernova. Another Ironside pump was JAMN. If you remember this was a while ago, when this thing went from 40 cents to $6 and back down. This is, if you flash forward on what GENE is going to look like in a few years, this will be GENE. The fundamentals don't support the run-up. It's manipulation, it's hype, it's a short squeeze, but it's also an opportunity. So you can hate on it. You can say JAMN was a pump and dump, GENE is a pump and dump, but all I care about is the volatility. So Gene is the current example of a supernova, and it's spiked up in the past before. So this isn't its first rodeo. It's just the company was like near collapse, and now in 2 days it's gone from basically 5 to 9. I would love to see another day of spiking. Even the fact that I'm short a little bit, it doesn't matter. I've been trading this long and short during this entire run-up, and overall I think I'm down. I got a little undisciplined. I think I'm down like maybe $5,000 or $6,000 total, which is very small. And in the past when I first started, I would get so excited about shorting these things, and I would just short. I'd probably be short huge right here at 8. Instead of shorting small. I've really learned risk management. It doesn't matter exactly where you buy and where you short. It matters, what is your position size? What is your expected loss, expected gain? If I was short big right now, like if I was short, and I know some people who are short big, and I feel bad for them, I would be very scared because this shows really no signs of stopping yet. But the cool thing about shorting versus going long is, this can collapse very quickly. If the company announces a financing, if it gets halted, if there's an investigation, there's a lot of negative things that can and probably should happen. But that's not to say that there are. Probably the best position right now is to have either a small short position if you want to be aggressive because this is going to collapse in the next day, 2 days, 3 days. This is one thing that a lot of short sellers don't understand. They're like, Tim, why are you shorting this so early? It hasn't had its first red day yet. Well, there might not be shares to short when you have the first red day. So you have to anticipate it by a day or two. And it's not an exact science. That's what makes shorting so much fun and kind of so difficult. You have to kind of judge risk. If this has let's say $4 a share of downside and only a dollar or $1.50 a share of upside, then the risk reward is pretty favorable to shorting it here when there are some shares to short, and shares to short are becoming tougher and tougher as the stock goes higher and higher. So it's not an exact science. If I could go back in time to Friday, probably I would have no position right now. I've been a little too aggressive just because this company is such a bad company. But at the same time, I've seen hundreds of these, and this is my kind of a play. So while I'm down a few $1,000s so far, you know, this party has just begun. Okay, it hasn't had its big crash yet. It might not have even had its big top yet. And then even after the big crash, you get usually a little bit of a bounce to short into. And sometimes if you don't want to short, you can buy into a big crash when it drops 50 or 60%. So you get to stages 4, 5, 6 of my 7-step framework. And I can't encourage you enough to watch that DVD. It's called Penny Stocking Framework. It really explains hundreds of these examples, and it's kind of crazy. When there's a firm pumping it or on the backside of this somehow, they're kind of like the puppet masters, and I don't know what Ironside is doing. I don't know, what's legal and what's not. I'm not a lawyer, but we do know that they are involved, as they were involved with ADXS and JAMN and NEWL. You have these kind of questionable firms that really work with these questionable companies, and somehow they get together. I don't know what goes on. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but you get these huge run-ups that are not based on anything fundamental or anything solid, and that confuses a lot of people. And a lot of people say penny stocks are so random. They're so manipulated. I can't predict this. Well, actually, you can. Just follow what Ironside does. They have SEC filings. It's not that complicated. But you don't know exactly how high this is going to go. So, long story short, this is my current play. This will crash in the next few days. I don't know if the top is 8, 9, 10. I want it to go as high as possible, even if that means I lose a little, because the higher this kind of a pump goes, the more downside it has eventually. And that is where you can really clean up. If I lose 50 cents or $1 a share on my short, as I've been doing, actually I've been losing like 10, 20 cents a share. I've been cutting losses pretty good, but I've been, wrong. Small losses don't concern me, because I know eventually this is going to crash $3, $4, $5, $6 a share in a day. Also, there are some sympathy plays. SGNL is in the same sector, and this has gone from 1 to 5. Congrats to a lot of students who shorted this in the mid and low 5s, even in the high 4s, and it's already crashed, nearly $2 a share off of its highs. And IBIO is another one that's up from 50 cents to $1. And this one, hopefully, both SGNL and IBIO will keep going too, because then that allows you to have 2 more plays. So when Gene is spiking, these 2 other sympathy plays will probably keep spiking also. And when Gene crashes, so too will these. If you remember LTUM, I banked off this sympathy play, and now it's trading at 4 cents, but a few years ago, it was not trading at 4 cents. It was right here. Oh, look at this lithium play, and it went from 23 cents up to $1.80. I got my short off in here in the low 1s, and I was covering in the even lower ones, and I only made like, I think it was like 20 or 30 cents a share, and it crashed, 50% the same day. My 4.2 million that I have made, people are shocked that I mistimed these over and over and over again, and yet I still made, I want to say, like, you can go back and look, I post all my trades transparently, unlike too many traders. I think I made like 10 or 20% shorting LTUM, and this was a sympathy play of LEXG, which, went from 70 cents to $10 and came crashing down. These kinds of supernovas will happen again and again, so please watch my How to Make Millions DVD. It summarizes everything. Watch my Penny Stocking Framework DVD. It's not because I want to sell freaking DVDs. I want you to understand the patterns, okay? I explain these patterns for 6 hours in the Penny Stocking Framework DVD and 35 hours in the How to Make Millions DVD. They're always going to keep popping up. The question is, are you going to be prepared? Do you have the right brokers? And do you have the right mindset to really bank and utilize them? Thank you. I'll see you in the chat room tomorrow.